in purely Malaysian terms, the dirty little secret about Malaysian policy is that actually we actually have quite good policy. If you look at our biodiversity policy, it's very great. If we look at our attempts at integrity, we have a national integrity plan. I've read it and it is brilliant. So it's not on the policy level that we seem to be struggling. It's either in one of three directions. First, we have great policy which doesn't make it into an action plan. So these are used as decorative documents, so that Malaysia as a government can say, oh, look at us on the international stage, look at us, we have this policy, aren't we good boys and girls? We're part of the international community. The second problem is that if it is not purely a decorative document, then there is a lack of competency or political will, or both, in making, going from policy into acts, into enforcement, and that whole kind of cycle that needs to be embedded in it. And the third possibility is that even if it is not a decorative document, and even if there is political will, there is sometimes contradictory or other policies which are kind of at odds with these policies that go towards making the planet a better place. And I think one of those, the mother of all of those, is Vision 2020, which I think trumps virtually everything. In Malaysia we have Vision 2020, which is meant to see us as a fully developed nation, or a high-income nation, and that will then trump anything else. And so it's not really at the policy level that we need to be talking here with the government. We need to be talking about how policy, or this policy in this area, really affects the overall plan, the overall picture of how we see Malaysia as a country developing by 2020. I don't think we get that kind of discourse yet. And so, we can write policy till we're blue in the face. It doesn't really matter that much. I think when it comes to corporations and sustainability, this is really difficult area. There are a number of things that make it even more difficult. One is that when corporations hear this kind of word, they hear environment, they hear social, and they immediately think cost. And they don't think this is an investment opportunity to make my business a better thing, to future-proof my business. Number two, it is often seen as part of a kind of corporate communication, PR kind of area. So the kind of progress you can make in a corporation really depends on where the locus of activity is situated within that company. And it'll be in different places. It is very, very rare to find a company that has a multidisciplinary sustainability team, which is what you need. You need to have somebody from all your business units sitting down on one table regularly, looking at the whole life cycle of your company. What other things? I think
non-profit organizations.
Well, I think for non-profit organizations, it's just the same old thing. It is a lack of capacity. SMEs, non-profit organizations, other organizations like, your sports club or your favorite activity club kind of thing. Everybody is kind of working 24/7, working as hard as they can in order to just carry on and survive. So part of the goal must be to make all the basic processes that is part of that SME or part of your organization much more efficient, so that you can free up time and capacity to actually look and see whether your organization is sustainable. So in fact, one of the counterpoint, the short form of the counterpoint mission is to help organizations do things better and do better things. So certainly in the 21st century, with all the kind of tech help that there is so many ways to do things. What am I saying? Yeah, to do things better, so that we can free up the time and capacity to do better things. And I know Mr. Lu there knows all about that. He's the expert.
Perhaps we could learn from Cali and how Just Life is run as an organization that tries to make. I think maybe it might be a little bit easier because you're already in the business of sustainability. But yeah, what kinds of experiences has Just Life had as a company that tries to really implement sustainable, measures and policies?
Okay. Like I said, we don't have a method, and we certainly do not have policy. What we do, we have stories. What we do is really, like I said, we are really not the expert in this whole green issues and all these things. But one thing that we strongly believe in is that it got to start from me. Everything got to start from me. And if we, this has always been that's my policy. It got to start from me. And if we keep looking out for someone to come and do something, an NGO, rely on the NGOs, rely on the government, right? It's not going to happen. We know that. And how starting from me works is that you got to start moving and you got to start doing something. Even though it may not be right, you got to start doing something. Like I know organic is definitely the way that I hope to see, one day that everything in the supermarkets are organic and everything, and one day we don't have to do Just Life anymore, and Just Life can do something else. This is our dream, to see that the whole world becomes organic. Okay, like Steve said something that is very, very true. It doesn't take a lot to tip, the scale. I heard that there's this so-called study or whatever forecast, whatever you say, that it only takes 10% of the population to change to totally tip the whole thing. And this is what we are working on, the 10%. and the 10% starts from me. Like I have a good friend who told me this story, and I found it very inspiring. And I remember this, and this is my daily reminder that if you want to go to Singapore, right, you got to start walking, or you take a bus, or you take a train, or whatever you do, you got to start moving. Even though it's going to take you long to Penang, but eventually you'll get to Singapore. So if you just sit here and start complaining and and then looking at others and then say that why don't you fetch me there and why don't you do this and all that, you're not going to get there forever. You'll be at the same spot forever. So this is something that I strongly believe in, and this is what Just Life is doing. That is, we just do, and then we learn, and then we improvise. So because it's a journey, so it doesn't matter. There's no, it's not like a goal that we have to get there. And as long as it's something that you keep moving, I think, if you make it fun, maybe you get more people to hop on the train and then join you on the same journey. Yeah, that's how.
There's one very specific thing that Just Life is doing, and that is that it's a member of the 1% for the planet. Yeah, which is a growing global movement of companies that donate 1% of their sales to a network of environmental organizations. And Just Life is a member of 1% for the planet, right? What do you think such initiatives achieve, and how sustainable are they?
Again, we don't know. But what we certainly know is that we can't do it. It's something that we are very inspired by this 1% for the planet, and I think you can log on to the website. You may not see a lot. It's called 1% FTP, or you Google 1% for the planet. You definitely get to the site. And at the moment, there is about 1,200 companies worldwide. Malaysia has 3, Just Life is 1. So we hope that this is something that we are we are very actively promoting. We hope that more corporations will come on board to join the journey, because I think this 1% for the planet actually started by 2 crazy guys, right? They are environmentalists who happens to be successful business people. And one thing for sure, one thing Just Life believes very, very strongly in is that so-called sustainable business, right, must be profitable. So if you are not profitable, your children are not going to be in the same business. They won't be interested in the organic business, and then they look at the parents like, so poor, and then so so first thing we got to make it that it has to be economical things. Yeah, sustainable business must be, you must take care of your rice bowl as well. So you cannot be doing charity forever, right? So, and the other thing is that for 1% for the planet, it started off by this 2 person, and what I find inspiring is that they started from themselves, because their business, Patagonia is one of the founder. His business actually relies on, he sells outdoor gear, so he relies on a sustainable environment for his business. So if you have no more beautiful mountain, right, no one is going to buy his climbing gear. If there's no clean sea, no one is going to buy his surfing board. So what I would strongly encourage everyone to do is to get a copy of his book. It's very inspiring. His book is called Let My People Go Surfing. It's very interesting how he runs his company. And we see a lot of similarity. Of course, it's of a much larger scale. So when we look at it, we look back and say that, oh, we are not alone. So there are a lot of people like that in the world. And the other thing why we support this 1% FTP is because they support the NGOs or the activists directly. People like Jacqueline, activists. They support the activists directly. So, and when they look at the due diligence, they look at companies that doesn't have very high overheads, and a lot of funds actually go back to the projects. So we can't do that. If we do that, we've got to have a whole team of people, and then looking at which one should we work with and all that. So we rely on their due diligence work, like their audit, like what you say, and then we can choose who we want to support. And we support the projects directly, so it's totally transparent. This is what we like. And the other thing is that, why we do it is because we feel that at the end of the day, right, and this is something that is quite challenging for the company, because we have to sell this idea to our team as well, because this 1% is coming out from the whole pool. It's not the profit, it's from the sales. So, and we did the presentations, and we have 100% buy-in from the team. So you can see that people can see now that you got to leave something better behind, when we leave the planet. So, and this is the least we can do, yeah. And the 1% for the planet is, there's only, like I said, there's only 3 companies in Malaysia.
What, the other 2?
The other 2 is actually Blue Dot Baby. I don't know whether you heard about it. It's in Bangsa Village 2, yeah. It's a company that promote green babies products. So it's organic and green baby products. And then another one is actually our supplier on organic fashion. Yeah, organic fashion, that green cotton, right? And coming back, can I talk a bit more?
Sure.
Okay. Okay, coming back to the business, right? I think going back to the stories about doing, there's a lot of things that you can do as a business to make you feel better as an owner, and to make your team feel better. Like if like what Just Life do is that, like, for example, I wear this because this is organic cotton. So this is the first year we have started. We finally managed to source something that is suitable for our team, because it has to tahan lasak, because they wear this every day. So this is organic cotton, certified organic cotton from India. So this is small things that you can do, and the staff, when every day they wear this organic cotton, they feel good, yeah. And if you have tried organic cotton, it feels different. And because every cotton shirts that we wear, right, there's a few pounds of chemicals that has gone into the growing, the plantation. So if you just change one shirt to organic, you are doing a lot. So that's why go back to start small, and don't get overwhelmed by all these environmental big issues. I think for Just Life, we feel that we small people, we start small. Every little things that we do, right, will add on, and then it has a great impact at the end of the day. And to Just Life, right, we are not hoping to see a big impact. So what we do is that we just travel along the journey, and then whatever that we know, we already know after more than 10 years, that for sure, and this is something that we have been told, it's not something that we found out or discover ourselves, and we discover it along the journey, is that whatever that is good for ourselves, yeah, chemical free is good for us, right? Yeah, it helps our health, right? It's definitely good for the environment. So the way I look at it is that like what Sumei does, she doesn't use shampoo, and it's good for her, and it's definitely good for the environment. So it's easy to choose, So when you make a personal choice, right, you just look at the labels, and if you can't decipher the ingredients on it, the best thing to do is not to use it. And if you want to find out more, there's plenty of information on the internet. And the other thing that I'd like to touch on is also, Sumei actually brought this book, and coincidentally, we both wanted to talk about
great minds thinking alike.
And we brought some of this Actually, it's old copies, if you guys don't mind, right? It's actually
And you can pick them up.